Jay Maratazzi. Hello and welcome to Celtic Roots Radio, coming to you today from Downpatrick, Northern Ireland. Celtic, folk rock, Appalachian, bluegrass, Scottish, Irish, Breton, Cajun. If it's Celtic or roots music you like, you'll find it here on Celtic Roots Radio.
Heard about Harris Island, the one you can't see till the sun goes down. Fires all over the sea will show you the way to come, but you couldn't guess that's such a joyful mess. You just wanna know what's behind the walls, barrels of whiskey or crazy baby dolls, and you wanna go. In the night, let's drift away to where throats are never dry. In the night, let's drift away to where the girls are going wild. And just around midnight you will hear a tolling bell. We have to cross the bridge into the citadel. Devil chants are lighting up a thousand faces around. Everybody's dancing to this heavy metal sound. Shots are circling in the swimming pool. We're all getting drunk, we're a bunch of fools. But you want more. In the night, let's drift away to where our throats are never dry. In the night, let's drift away to where the girls are going wild. In the night, let's drift away to where the girls are going wild. In the night, let's drift away to where our throats are never dry. In the night, let's drift away to where our throats are never dry. In the night, let's drift away to where the girls are going wild. In the night, let's drift away to where our throats are never dry. In the night, let's drift away to where the girls are going wild. They never let you go. They never let you go.
Hi there, we're back again on our Celtic Roots Radio Show. I'm Raymond McCulloch in Downpatrick, County Down, with a wee taste of Celtic and roots songs and tunes, plus some crack from myself as well. Once again, we started off the show with In the Night from a Breton band called Transfer with a PH, and they're from Melun near Paris, France. That's from their album Black Sam. Well, this podcast is now available on Spotify and on Google and Deezer as well. So if you've just discovered us, then you're more than welcome. and you can always catch up by listening to our previous 60 shows. Your comments on the show are always welcome. And if you're a Facebook user, I've now got an author, musician, presenter page on Facebook where you can get all kinds of updates and links. So go and like the page, Raymond McCulloch, author. Check out our Celtic Roots Cafe community where you'll find information about our artists and bands, music videos. Just click the cafe button on our website, CelticRootsRadio.com. And if you like the crack on our shows, you can listen to that separately on our Celtic Roots Crack podcast, or you can read it at your leisure on our Celtic Roots Crack blog. Find all the info on the podcast page at CelticRootsRadio.com. Once more, we've had some great comments on the show. Rum Rhapsody 77 contacted us via Podomatic.com. Stellar show. This and Radio Rebel Gale are my top podcasts. Keep on rockin', fella. Joseph Muldoon tweeted, "Hey Raymond from Washington State, love the show." Walker from New Orleans, Louisiana tweeted, "Just heard an awesome cover of All My Tears by Jars of Clay by Fret Not Gospel on an old episode 1 of Celtic Roots. Sick dobro playing." And we have a couple of Facebook comments too. Randy Pullman from Osaka in Japan said, "I do enjoy a wee bit of the crack from Raymond. Been downloading your podcasts from Japan. Keep up the top shelf work." And Merbs Labrador said, "Hello Raymond, I'm Merbs from the Philippines. I really love Celtic music. I'm a big fan of your podcast since I discovered it back in 2014. I'm currently in New Zealand. Actually, I have a lot of Irish and Cornish friends back in Saudi in the desert when I worked there. Cheers, Raymond. Keep up the good work." He gets around a bit, doesn't he? And Merbs was back again a month later to say, "Raymond, I'm a great fan of your podcast, Celtic Roots Radio. Thank you so much." Well, thank you all for tuning in, and I'm glad you all enjoy it. And when you've exhausted all our podcast shows, you can tune in to our 24/7 station on Shoutcast for even more music, crack from myself, and shows from Mark Gunn and others. Find it on our radio page at CelticRootsRadio.com. Keep in touch with us through email, Facebook message, Twitter, or our cafe site. We always appreciate a new review of the show on Apple Podcasts. And please drop us a wee message to let us know you've posted it in case we miss it. While you're on Apple Podcasts, enter Raymond McCulloch into the search box to find all of our other podcasts. And we're listening now to Cantus Linares from Munich, Germany, and a tune called Outro of Poor Kay Lyrics. That was Tartanic from Texas, USA, with a tune called Briefcase Number 1. You're most likely listening to this because you love Celtic music and culture. There's a bit of a sad story behind why that's so popular around the world. We've exported Irish and Scottish culture and music because so many people from this part of the world felt they had to leave here and go somewhere where they felt free from oppression. The Highland clearances in Scotland resulted in mass emigration to the New World. The English ruled in Ireland for centuries, and anyone who didn't worship in the English way was persecuted, in other words, Presbyterians and Roman Catholics. During penal times, Catholic priests were forced into hiding and would come out to a mass rock in a remote country to serve their people communion. If they were caught, those who weren't executed were imprisoned on an island out in the west. Presbyterians likewise were forced to hold their hedgerow schools out in the wilds, and the English mocked them and called them blackmouths, because the children would have stained mouths from eating wild blackberries. For a time, both Catholic priests and Presbyterian preachers had a bounty on their heads. In Oliver Cromwell's time, many Irish people were forcibly transported to the Caribbean as indentured labour in the sugar and tobacco plantations. These Irish labourers were the first European settlers on the volcanic island of Montserrat in 1632, and it's had an Irish culture ever since. An Irish scholar in 1831 reported that the Irish language was still spoken by both black and white inhabitants. Unfortunately, the Irish later became owners of imported black African slaves and didn't treat them any better than they had been treated. The same sort of thing happened in the US and Canada. Many Scots and Irish went there to find religious freedom, and in the early days, some Highland trappers married native women and became full natives themselves, so that today there are native tribes in Manitoba and Saskatchewan with Scottish names like McGregor, Spence, Tate, MacDonald, Calder. Some became what were known as Anglo-Métis, even developing their own Bungie Creole language, which was a mixture of Scots Gaelic, Cree and Ojibwe, that is still spoken today in certain parts of Manitoba. That was Greg Simmons from Michigan, USA, and a tune called One If by Sea.
I don't know if you can see the changes that have come over me. These last few days I've been afraid that I might drift away. So I've been telling old stories and singing songs that make me think about where I came from, and that's the reason why I seem so far away today. Let me tell you that I love you, that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me. Now I'm going home. If I should become a stranger, you know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia, you're everything I've ever had. I have moved and I've kept on moving. Prove the points that I needed proving. I've lost the friends that I needed losing. Found others on the way. I have tried and I've kept on trying. Stolen dreams, there's no denying. I have traveled sometimes with get any higher. They've withered, now they're gone. But I'm steady thinking my way is clear, and I know what I will do tomorrow. When the hands are shaking and the kisses flow, then I will disappear. Let me tell you that I love you, that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me. Now I'm going home. If I should become a stranger, you know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia, you're everything I've ever had. Caledonia, you're everything I've ever had.
That was Storefront Congregation from Colorado, USA, and one of my favourite songs, Caledonia, from their album Kaleidoscope. By the way, we passed on to Native Americans a form of music and dance, now known as jigging. But most Irish and Scottish settlers interpreted the native traditions they observed as pagan, and eventually laws were introduced to civilise these people, the Indian Acts. In Canada, the churches were brought in to manage these residential schools in an attempt to drive the native out of these children. That's where the term final solution first came into use. Physical and sexual abuse were rife, and nearly 50% of the children didn't survive their residential school experience. Those that did had been divorced from their traditions, their language, and normal family relationships, and that often led directly to alcohol, drug, and other substance dependence of many native people. When I first travelled to a Manitoba reserve in 2004, I apologised on the local radio station for what people from here had done in our name. I got a very positive response. If you want to know more about this, check out my Broken Treaties podcast on preciosoil.com. So nearly anywhere you go in the world, you'll find Irish people, 50 million of them in the US. As like as not, they're involved in building something, and likely spending the proceeds on quenching their thirst and loosening their vocal cords for a wee bit of a session. But the reason they originally left here, to travel to these far-off places, was maybe not so pleasant. And you're listening to The Wild Rover from Ann Roos in California, USA.
Oh, sing to me of hearts and of morning, till my own heart is heavy and will not withstand. Let the tears gather round an unknown occasion, and spill from me onto the green mossy ground. I thought to remind him of family virtue and show him the one whose face he'd not seen. I found only sorrow for all of my seeking. In silence he lay on the cold barren ground. Oh, sing to me of hearts and of morning, till my own heart is heavy and will not withstand. Let the tears gather round an unknown occasion, and spill from me onto the green mossy ground. They said that my love I'd take to my garden. I'll wait for him there on the green mossy ground. Oh, sing to me a partridge of morning, till my own heart is heavy and will not withstand. Let the tears gather round an unknown occasion, and spill from me onto the green mossy ground.
That was Monroe Crossing from Minnesota, USA, and the Green Mossy Ground. And we're going to finish with a song by Druid Roots from Florida, USA. This is Seven Seas. Look after yourselves now, you hear me? Slán.
I may be a pauper, but I live like a king. And I've traveled the world and I've seen many a thing. I fell prey to emotion, no a time or two, but I'd cross 7 seas just to be here with you. And the houses of 12 in the days now and coming in my soul I will delve. But when I look to the mountains, oh I feel I'm so young, with that spot of Celtic karma on the tip of my tongue. And I may be a pauper, but I live like a king. I've traveled the world and I've seen many a thing. Fell prey to emotion, no a time or two, but I'd cross 7 seas just to be here with you. I took the man at his word and I sold all I had. But when I gave it up to follow, I was claimed to be a mad. Yet birth, life and death are all part of the plan. And birth, life and death, oh again and again. And I may be a pauper, but I live like a king. I've traveled the world and I've seen many a thing. I fell prey to emotion, no a time or two, but I'd cross 7 seas just to be here with you. La 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 la. I gaze to the heavens through my windows of life, from dawn until dusk where the sun sets in strife. I see darkness is won by the death of the sun, but by caprice, passion, and a life has begun. And I see a world in a grain of sand, heaven in a white flower, infinity in the palm of my hand, and eternity in an hour. I may be a pauper, but I live like a king. I've traveled the world and I've seen many a thing. I fell prey to emotion, no a time or two, but I'd cross 7 seas just to be here with you. La 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 Now my days are all full and my hair is turned grey. 1,000 times lived I the passion play. Yeah, when I look to the mountains, oh, I still feel so young, with that spot of Celtic karma on the tip of my tongue. And I may be a pauper, but I live like a king. I've traveled the world and I've seen many a thing. I felt prey to emotion, no time or two, but I'd cross the seven seas just to be here with you. And I may be a pauper, but I live like a king. I've traveled the world and I've seen many a thing. I fell prey to emotion, no time or two, but I crossed the seven seas just to be here with you. La 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 la
Well, that's all we have time for on this show. Remember, you can find out more information about the artists and songs played on the show on our website at CelticRootsRadio.com. And if you're an independent artist and you'd like to hear your music played on this show, again, you'll find details on our website. That's CelticRootsRadio.com. Tune in again next week to Celtic Roots Radio. I'm Raymond McCulloch, coming to you from Ireland. Slán agus Banagia.